Let us understand what we are going to learn here. So review of core Java, and second part here I'm going to show you that yeah, recording is the OOPS concept, object oriented concept of Java programming, object oriented programming system, and then installation of NetBeans. Okay, and the first program, the Hello World program in Java. That means we are going to understand the structure of what Java program. Okay, and not only we are going to install the NetBeans, but also we are going to install the Java development kit, and we are going to understand the entire configuration of NetBeans as well as JDK here. Okay, because whatever NetBeans version you are using previously, or Eclipse version you are using, all these are integrated development environment, and that is known as a IDE, which is professionally used by a developer, and all MNC companies are the developing, those who are doing a Java or using a Java platform for a development. They either use Eclipse, or they are using a NetBeans or Visual Studio. Now, so all those editor we are going to see during the practical. Okay, and the theory also. So in that case, you should know the entire installation and the structure of the application. So what is core Java? So core Java is, I can say, Java is a programming language as well as a framework. Okay, so programming language, when you want to interact with the uh, machine or some other devices, you required the application, and applications are written in a programming language by using a programming language. So Java is one of the programming language, and it is a robust means it is, I can say, majboot tikau, I can say, means it is still there, because from 1991, still the almost 20 years, the Java is there, and it's keep on changing this framework, and it's adding n number of things and n number of information inside, and n number of libraries inside the Java platform. So that's why we can say Java is robust. Another thing is Java is platform uh, independent. Okay, so platform independent means is not depend on any platform here. Okay, means what do you mean by platform? Okay, so platform is nothing but the operating system, and platform is nothing but the programming language which you are using. So the people are using a term platform in respective to the operating system, and the platform in respective to the development environment. Okay, so here I'm taking the operating system as a platform. Means people are writing previously the application which is based on Windows platform, application which is based on Linux platform, and application which is based on Macintosh platform. Okay, so when we are talking about platform independent, means your language which is creating application which is running on all kind of what operating system. Okay, so that's why it is also known as it is a single write once and execute everywhere. Okay, so write once and execute everywhere. Okay, so this is the key of what I can say Java programming language. तो एक बार लिखो एक ही जगह पे, and people will execute every year. So how it is possible? It is possible because of the environment which is created by Java, and that environment is known as Java Virtual Machine. So if the people are creating the coding inside the Java by using Java as uh, a simple programming language, and people are writing a code here. Okay, so n number of lines they are writing here. Okay, so this is a Java code. So dot Java file people are creating, and it is a higher level language. And when the people are using this higher level language, they need to convert the entire higher level language into the lower level language where machine can understand. So they need a compiler here. So compiler is compiling that Java code, and they are get converted into another code called as a bytes code. Okay, so the bytes codes are the codes which is giving the output in zero and ones. Okay, and it's keep on generating the output in zeros and one. Okay, here, and those bytes codes are understood by the machine. Okay, so all these are bytes code. Okay, and again, when the informations are written in a bytes code, okay, that actually information given to after completing the compilation, it's convert entire Java file into dot class file, and that class file is sending across the environment, and that environment is known as a JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So this is a responsible. This environment is responsible for converting the entire bytes code into a native code. Okay. And that native code are understand by the respective operating system here. So my JVM is get converted information or the application into a native code form. So if they are using a Windows platform, then your Java application is running on a Windows platform, and that is according to the requirement of what the Windows platform. So what kind of requirement it is? Okay, it is nothing but a file system which is used and the structure which is defined by the that operating system here. So if you are using Windows, Linux, Mac, everywhere the applications are get executed because of what JVM. So when you are there, and when you are installing a Java, so Java virtual machine is get created at the time of Java framework is installed in your machine. Okay, and it will convert your compiler is get converted those information into a bytes code, and that bytes code is generating a class file. Okay, and those class files are given to what JVM environment. So there is an interpreter available here. Once you actually created this environment, then you required the interpreter. So Java required two kind of what the compilation process. Okay, one is interpreter and another is I can say another is a compiler. Okay, so what is this interpreter and compiler? They are language processor. So those language processors are responsible for converting higher level language into a lower level language. Okay, so what is higher level language? The normally the language which is speak by the human being are called as a higher level language. Okay, so in future, if someone is writing a compiler for Hindi or Marathi, okay, or some other languages, and those people who are nowadays we are using English as a higher level language for writing a code. But if you want to use your own regional language in your um code writing, then it is difficult to understand by the uh, or you can say the compilation process, and that's why people are stick to what the English language here. Okay, so higher level languages get converted into a lower level language, and then lower level language is nothing but the machine language, which is understand by the uh, operating system here. Okay, and they are interact with what the applications, and they are understand the instructions, and they generate the output accordingly. Okay, so this is the way where you people are using with other language also. Only the part is this part is missing. Those who are not using a platform independent language, the language like C and C++, you will not get a JVM environment here. Okay, so there is a something called as a just in time compiler. Okay, so JIT compiler is there, who are responsible. So if you see the entire structure inside the JVM, and so there is a class loader, there is a JIT compiler, who are converting entire एप्लीकेशन इनटू अ नेटिव कोड. तो यहाँ भी नेटिव का problem hai. It is not a problem with one of the political person. Okay, so I am not taking the name of that person who is always talking about you speak in a native language, so people can understand very well. The native people can understand very well. That's the same thing has happened in programming language also. So if your program is speak in a native language, okay, so operating system can easily understand those, and that's why a lot of layers are there in a frameworks where everything is get converted into native language code here. Okay, and that's why either it is Node.js or React.js or some other a popular platform where we are creating the application. Everyone is actually there is a process involved in between, where that process is get converted converting entire code into a native code. Okay, so this is a scenario which is always used by every programming language. Okay, and they are creating a structure and the framework. So that is the reason we are calling this as a platform independent, and JVM is behind that. Another thing is it is something where you can check that. So there is a memory management actually taking place properly in Java, and there is a GIGO, okay, concept they are using, that is garbage in and garbage out. Okay, means what? So automatically memory is released once the application is closed, and because of there is a class called as a garbage class, and a lot of memory leak problems are vanish because of what the this concept. Okay, and another part is it is a protection is there, and it's a protected language, so security I can say. So Java has a security where data and uh, the data and the functions are separate. Functions also known as methods. Okay, in terms of Java, so they are separated from each other. Not separated, they are binding from each other, and because of that you can't access the data directly. Okay, you have to access the data through methods, and that methods are protected, and some methods are publicly available. So there is a access controls given to what Java language is here. Okay, so if you see the a lot of advantage are there where we can use a Java programming language. Another main important advantage is it supports OOPS concept. We are going to see what is object oriented programming system. Okay, it is also called as a real world programming. Okay, so some questions I'm going to ask you right now. Okay, so I'm not testing your knowledge, I just want to check that the simple questions I'm going to ask, and I'm going to give an answer also. So if you are not able to give an answer directly by unmuting your mic, you can directly type the answers in a chat box. So the my first question is, what is an object? Okay, so we are going to understand these terms of oops. Okay, so the question is, what is an object? ऑब्जेक्ट क्या है? Is anybody? Those who are not able to और कुछ बोलने में तकलीफ हो रही है तो they can type here. So it is not testing your knowledge, it's just checking what definition you are knowing regarding what object oriented programming system. Hello, am I audible? So please. Okay. Object is a member of a class. Priyanka, object is an instance of class. Okay. Object is a member of class when you are defined another object inside the class. Okay. So, anybody, Priyank, I'm not talking about the class. Object is an instance of class. You are correct. Okay. So, anyone, Yogesh, you are correct. Object is an instance of class. Very good, Vaibhav. Object is a real world entity, and please do not Google it. Whatever you are knowing, just put object is an any real world entity that have some properties. Okay. So are we our object? Are we object? हम object है क्या? Say yes or no. Yes, correct.
Yes.
Shubham, correct, Vaibhav. We are an object. Okay. So we are an object, and I can say the real word, whatever definition I'm giving, that definition I'm actually giving in terms of biology or whatever the definitions available in a real word. That so object is an entity which having characteristics, okay, also known as properties, okay, and behavior. Properties, state, and behavior, okay, so also known as okay, also known as methods or a function. Okay, so this is a simple example or a definition of object. So object is an entity which having a characteristics, property, state, and behavior. So always object required, always I can say object always required the characteristics. So whenever you are talking about the characteristics of what that object, then you can visualize those objects in front of you. मैं ऐसा बोल सकता हूँ कि मेरे विंडो के ऊपर एक काला पक्षी आ जाता है जिसका बॉडी कलर ब्लैक है. सो देयर इज अ वन बर्ड ऑलवेज सिटिंग on a morning on my windows whose body color is black, and his beak is black, and he is actually making a sound of what the cow cow. Okay, so what kind of properties I'm actually looking for? Okay, so when I'm talking about his body color, I'm talking about his entire structure. So total number of wings and legs and behavior. Okay, so making a sound, what kind of sound he is making. Okay, so when I'm giving these kind of the properties. So I can visualize the that particular object. Okay, and I give a name to what that object. So I'm talking about the crow here. Okay, so body color is nothing but a value. Okay, wings is total number of wings. I can say it's two wings and two legs, and making a sound here. So making cow cow kind of what the sound. So so all these are, I can say, properties. So if you see that properties is responsible for our characteristics, which is responsible for describing an object here. Okay, and so another is a behavior. Okay, or another a part. It's not only a behavior. So there are n number of behavior are there. So you are flying and eating are the behavior, and making a sound like cow cow. All these are a behavior which is actually making by that particular object. So I can see ऑब्जेक्ट दुनिया ऑब्जेक्ट से भरी पड़ी हुई है, और लोग यहाँ पे हर एक ऑब्जेक्ट दूसरे ऑब्जेक्ट को हमेशा मिलता है. Okay, so what is an object oriented programming? Object oriented programming is nothing but one object is interacting with the another object. So if I'm human being here, and I'm making um, okay, so I'm a person who are uh, actually wants to interact with my another object called as a mobile here. Okay, so this is a person. Okay, and who are uh, interacting with the another object. ओके, तो ये दो ऑब्जेक्ट्स है एक दूसरे के साथ इंटरेक्ट हो रहे हैं. सो दैट डजंट मीन एवरी ऑब्जेक्ट इज ऑलवेज having a life. Another object which is a mobile, okay, and that is, I can say, it's not having any kind of what the life. So this is one object, mobile, and this is a human being who wants to interact with mobile here. So how the interaction is taking place? So those two objects are interacting with each other by sending a message among themselves. Okay, so I'm sending a message, and I'm forming the events, okay, by pressing some button here, and uh, my mobile is interacting and giving the output accordingly. So here I'm showing a message. Okay, so I'm showing the message in the form of envelope. Okay, so this is a message I'm sending as an input. I'm sending a message as an output here. So whatever the interactions are taking place here, so all those informations are given here. Okay, and object oriented programming is nothing but the message passing, I can say. Okay, so one object is interacting with another object, and every time everyone is actually generating a user interface in front of other object here. So in case of mobile, so mobiles comes with the n number of what the icons, okay, which is there on their screen, and the user is selecting those icons and running n number of what the application. So my user interface is keep on changing when the application is loading in front of her. And so those output is nothing but a response to what the human being. So interaction is taking place between these two objects, or n number of objects. So that's why I'm saying object is an entity which having a characteristics and a state and a behavior. What if there are n number of objects who are having a specification, okay, and they are having a similar kind of properties. Okay, So all these are objects which having a similar kind of what the properties. Okay, and once these objects who are having a similar kind of what the properties, then they form a class here. Okay, class is a, I can say, a group of object. Okay, so class की definition अलग अलग है. Okay, so please don't give a definition of class that it has a data member and the method here. So I'm totally giving you the biological term. Class is nothing but a group of objects of similar group of objects of objects of similar properties. Okay, and it is a design, I can say it is a blueprint, I can say, or it is a template, I can say. Okay, so all these are the actual I can say definition of what the class here. Okay, so don't take a template, blueprint, and design and a group of object of similar. So someone is actually creating some information and specification before designing an object. Okay, so you won't get in life class. Okay, तो आपको class नहीं मिलेंगे. Class is logical. Okay, and uh, the object is a physical, means you can touch and you can see the object. आप ऑब्जेक्ट को देख सकते हो, आप ऑब्जेक्ट को महसूस कर सकते हो, टच कर सकते हो. आप क्लास को नहीं देख सकते. Suppose these are the I can say instance of what the class. His name is Suresh. Okay, and mm Ramesh. So Suresh, Ramesh are the name given to what this human being object. Okay, and we are calling these are the Ramesh. These are the objects of human being kind here. Okay, so I'm saying Suresh, Ramesh, Jayesh, okay, Salman. Hmm, all these are the objects, John. Okay, and Salman here. So all are the objects of human being kind. So each one has a property, that each one has height, weight, okay, and the intellectual IQ, n number of properties I can define here. So if I'm saying this is height, weight, okay, body color, okay, and I can say IQ and a name, age, all these are properties of what that human being object here. So when we are talking about these kind of what the properties, so every uh, person who having name, age, IQ, body color, height are the properties which is defined in a structure. So I can say I can recognize this person by checking their characteristics. Okay, or you can say a properties here. Okay, and these guys are walking, these guys are sleeping, okay, these guys are running. All those are the methods, and that is defined inside something, inside the you can say a class definition. तो class definition आपको पता नहीं है कि वो दिखती भी नहीं है. Someone design this object, okay, and it has n number of what the properties here. So if you see n number of properties are there, okay, and where you can put define the name of that person. You can define ask for the property called as age of that person, and you can define the another property where you can mention the height and the weight. Okay, so I'm choosing HT and WT here. Okay, so all these are property, Okay, and we are creating the instance of those object here. Okay, so your Suresh, Ramesh, Jayesh all are the object of human being kind here. So I can say every object has their own value. Okay, these guys having a name called as a Suresh, Ramesh, Jayesh, and Salman. So all values are different, but the properties are there. Every human being must know by their name here. Okay, and the behavior, so what behavior it is, so walking, okay, eating, all kind of what the behaviors are also known as a methods. So this class, whenever we define any kind of what the object, so every time we are going to define the methods to access the data member or to use those data members there. So n number of methods are there available inside the class. Okay, so I can say a class is a design to create the object. Okay, so people may call design, people may call the blueprint, people may call a template here. So whenever you create a class, so this is a human class, तो हम बोल नहीं सकते कि यार ये देखो ह्यूमन क्लास जा रहा है, हम बोल सकते हैं देखो सुरेश जा रहा है, रमेश जा रहा है, जयेश जा रहा है, काइंड ऑफ, बट वी कांट से द ह्यूमन क्लास जा रहा है बोल के. ओके, बिकॉज इट इज अ लॉजिकल. Okay, so design you will not see here, but you can see the object which using those design properties inside here. Okay, so please understand this concept, and then you came to know the actual definition here. Okay, and the term which we are using every time, that class is why we form a class, why you people are joining this class, because you all are holding a same similar properties, you are belongs to FY division B. So these are common properties, and that is the reason you are forming a class called as a FY division B. तो आप दो सोचोगे यार, हम लोग सब ऑब्जेक्ट ये है, ऐसे हैं जिन्होंने जिनको हमको हमारे क्लास टीचर ने डिवीजन बी बोल के नाम दिया है. ओके, सो एंड दैट इज द रीजन यू पीपल आर फॉर्म अ ग्रुप एंड यू पीपल आर फॉर्म अ क्लास. ओके, तो यही क्लास है. जैसे किसी के दिमाग में आ गया होगा पहले, अरे ये क्लास हमारा जो हम जो क्लास अटेंड कर रहे हैं उससे कोई मायने रखता है? द आंसर इज यस. ओके, सो class is nothing but a group of a similar kind of what the object. So class is nothing but a group of similar kind of object. Okay, similar kind of object who are holding same property. Same property doesn't means the value are the same. Values are different. ये इसका बॉडी कलर ब्लैक रहेगा, इसका ब्राउन रहेगा, इसका व्हाइट रहेगा. ओके, सो मे बी the values are different, but the properties are the same here. Okay, so on the basis of that, object-oriented programming is also known as a real-world programming, because n number of objects, n number of class we are defined in an application here. Okay, so that's why there are four pillar used in OOPS concept, and those four pillar is required every time. So when you are using these four pillar, फोर पिलर की स्पेलिंग क्या है? Okay, so the four pillar, I will check afterward, but let me show here. So four pillar which we are using here, that the first pillar is something called as a data abstraction here. Okay, So I'm just starting the data abstraction as first pillar here. So what do you mean by data abstraction? That I'm going to explain right now. Then there is an encapsulation, and then there is a inheritance. Okay, and then the polymorphism. See, when we are taking an interview of you people, so we are expecting that you people should know the object oriented programming very well. Okay, because of object oriented programming concept, uh, you are able to understand the any programming language. Okay, you are going to create a class, and you are going to create the inheritance rate. Okay, and you are creating a polymorphic class here. So if you are not knowing object, you are not knowing a class, you are not knowing a data abstraction, then we will not select you for we are actually putting a stamp on you that you are not good in object oriented programming, so you are not a coachable. That doesn't mean you are not capable. So I'm saying that you are not actually useful for that coding environment, because this is the basic requirement people are expecting. So इंटरव्यू में आपको बहुत सारी चीजें यहाँ पे उप्स कंसेप्ट के बारे में पूछेंगे, डेटा स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में पूछेंगे, और बाकी टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं आई तो भी चलेगी, क्योंकि कोचिंग के टाइम पे ये सब लोग आपको 3 महीने का जो ट्रेनिंग रहता है उसमें पीपल विल actually giving you introducing a new technology which using ops concept. Okay, yeah. और डेटा स्ट्रक्चर क्यों चाहिए? क्योंकि डेटा स्ट्रक्चर में lot of searching and all other stuffs are taking place here. So you have to use a data structure, and that is the reason we are going to start first unit, which is nothing but a data structure in Java. We are calling this as a collection in Java. So they are using a new term for the data structure called as a collection, and data structure का तो syllabus में भी आपको मिलने वाला है. So we are expecting this technology here. So what is data abstraction here? Okay, so data abstraction is nothing but here when the person who having n number of what the skill set. Okay, so ये बच्चा है और इसके पास n number of skill set है. Okay, so these guys has n number of skill set, and those skills means I can say a methods this guys has. He's a good dancer. Okay, he is a good I can say a developer. He is a good stand-up comedian. He is a good singer. He is a good lover. Okay, and he is a good friend. Okay, so n number of what the functionality these guys has. Okay, so here I'm writing some function. So it's a stand-up comedy here. So I'm just writing stand-up comedy here. Okay. Okay, so this is a person who having this skill set. Okay, and this is another person skill set this guy is having. He's a good coder. Okay, and this another skill set this guy is having, and he is a good dancer. Okay, and he is a good singer here. Okay, and and he is a good, okay, the I can say a lover. Okay, so he's a very affectionate person who are actually spreading aloud here. Okay, so these are the another guys who wants to interact with him. So there are n number of other objects who wants to interact with these guys. Okay. And so this is the people who are interacting with him. Okay, so this is a CEO of I can say the one of the software company. Okay, so he is a IT CEO here. Okay, IT company CEO. And okay, so this is the person who is actually the GF. So, it's a girlfriend of what this particular person, and this is a girlfriend father. Okay. Mhm. Who is wants to interact with that guys, and this is the friends of all those n number of friends who wants to interact with these guys. Okay, so what happened here, so when the IT CEO are interacting with him, so in that case this is generating an interface. Okay, where he is only showing the essential things. Okay, the functionality which is actually applicable for these guys. Okay, and he's come with some UI user interface where he will get the coding skill, and coding skill is only visible. Okay, so user interface is developing in a such a way that only the essential things is given to what this ITCU. Okay, the rest of the things are hiding. N number of functionalities are there, and those functions are hiding from there. So there are n number of functions, okay, which is not essential for this IT guys. So they are hiding. They are hiding from the. Okay, so here I'm showing these are the uh, functionality which is hiding from. Okay, so from the this ITC area. So data hiding, you can say, are the function part methods are hiding, so which is not essential, that will hiding from, and only the essential things are available to him. So we are calling this as a data abstraction here. So data hiding is also part of there. So when we are talking about some definition, we are not visualize those definition, we are not understand the concept behind it. Okay, and now girlfriend is interacting with these guys. At that time he is showing his love, he is showing his singing skill here. उसके लिए गाना गाएगा, उसके लिए डांस करेगा. So n number of functionality he is providing to her. Okay, तो यहाँ पे ये सब चीजें यहाँ पे n number of functions they are showing in user through user interface here. Okay, तो यहाँ पे उसका UI अलग रहेगा. So it depends who is going to access him. Okay, so girlfriend is accessing and interacting with this object. Okay, and ITCO is interacting with objects, so they comes with the different user interface. Okay, so they only showing the essential things here. So all these are essential things. So I'm showing essential things in a green uh, form here because I want to show all these information in a green color here because let me check. Okay, so green means the green signal. Okay, and here so this is my essential things, and which is not essential, so I'm showing in a red color here. Okay, so which is not applicable to what this guy is there. Okay, so I'm showing in some different color here. Okay, that is in red color. Okay, and so you can understand the essential. So this is a GF. Okay, girlfriend father. So there are some spatial functions only accessible to some spatial object, which is not either, it is not available to the uh, okay, the normal people. Yeah, so this guy is looking for a special function like Satbara Sautara. Okay, how financially he is strong, strong financially, whether he is able to keep his daughter, okay, happy, and he is fulfilling his all the needs. So the parameter of girlfriend father is something different, and he's looking for some special functions which is not available for the normal people, okay, or generic people, I can say. So all these are special functions which is only showing to a special object, okay, and these are the frames so who are using these functionality, these and loving all four functionalities are there, which is accessed by the friends, and the rest of the people are not interested how good coder he is, okay. So people are interested only those functions who are useful for them. So that is called as a data abstraction. Hope you understood how data abstraction is taking place. Okay, very good. So, so these terms when we are using, please understand ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग ये मैं कोई बुकिश एग्जांपल नहीं दूंगा, okay, because I have spent around 15 plus years years in field of computer science. So I always use the real world example to understand the concept. And my PhD I'm doing in concept visualization. Okay, this is my PhD topic where I'm going to visualize my concept through pictures. Lot of pictures I'm going to draw here and visualizing the concept. Okay, तो ये कंसेप्ट तो मैं हमेशा मेरा पीएचडी का रोल यही है, जहाँ पे लर्निंग मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम इज माय PhD area environment, and I'm using artificial intelligence plus concept visualization through artificial intelligence. Okay, तो मैं हमेशा कंसेप्ट विजुलाइज करूंगा और उसमें लॉट ऑफ डायग्राम आई एम गोइंग टू ड्रॉ हियर, ओके, टू अंडरस्टैंड द कंसेप्ट। और यहाँ पे मैं कोई भी बुकिश एग्जांपल नहीं दूंगा, या मैं कोई भी बुकिश स्पेलिंग रॉन्ग है, ओके, तो कोई भी बुकिश एग्जांपल नहीं दूंगा मैं, लॉट ऑफ ड्राइंग आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू, एंड उस ड्राइंग्स के ऊपर मैं कोड क्या करूंगा, डेवलप करूंगा। ओके, सो नेक्स्ट पार्ट इज इनकैप्सुलेशन। So you know, when you are eating some capsule here, okay, so the term and the spelling which we are using, like data abstraction and the class object, ये सब term मैं इंग्लिश डिक्शनरी से ले रहा हूँ, और उसका मीनिंग जो जनरल इंग्लिश में है वो चेंज नहीं है। यही बताना चाहता हूँ कि आप कोई भी एब्स्ट्रैक्शन का मीनिंग देखोगे, सो इट इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज अ, मराठी में अमूर्त बोलते हैं इसको। अगर मूर्त स्वरूप नहीं है, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट मीन्स अमूर्त। ओके, एब्स्ट्रैक्शन is something which is reform according to the requirement here, okay। तो इसमें abstraction is something different, abstract is something different, So when we are talking about the polymorphism, at that time I'm going to explain what is abstract. Okay. And so encapsulation may what we are going to do here. Okay. So if you see the capsules here, and if I'm talking about the capsules, okay, and when you are using a capsule here, so you know that capsule has a powder inside it. Okay, and why it is covering? Because the who are manufacturer of what these capsules, he just want to secure the powder inside it. Okay, so this is a powder, and people can eat these capsules. Okay, through whatever the cover, plastic cover are there, and they are melted. That plastic cover is get melted, and the benefits of what this powder directly reach to what the body here. Okay, so they wants to secure, so foreign body cannot uh, tampered, or foreign body cannot uh, disturb the the contents which is inside the capsule. Okay, so this is a dhool mitti, I can say. A lot of things are there. Okay, so I'm choosing a foreign body here. Particles. So foreign body particles which is outside the particles. Okay, so foreign body particles will not disturb because of what the also these particles are nothing but uh, yeah. So these particles are nothing but the uh, may be disturbed. So one kind of object may be disturbed the object inside that capsule. So what happened here? So it will not allow, or such a restricted. Okay, so the restrictions is there, so it's not allowed to enter in a uh, inside the body. Okay, so this is something, some no entry kind of what the things are there where it is not available inside there. So what is this? So all are, you can compare this with the data here. Okay, so if I compare this with the data, so this is my class structure. Okay, and I have a class called as a person. Okay, and this class has a data. Okay, where the data is the name and age here. Okay, so I'm choosing a name, and another property is age. Okay, so it is not accessible directly unless if you are asking that object what is your name and age. So it depends upon their functionality which is making available. So value cannot directly access here. So if you see, so those informations are protected, and that protection is always there. Okay, so here I'm showing the protected environment. Okay, so I'm showing a lock here. So this is a lock. Okay, and if you see, name and age is protected, it's not directly accessible here. So this is the protection which I'm showing. Okay, and it is not accessible unless and until so this is a person class, and I want to access the information of person class here. Okay, so I have to use a method here. Okay, so I may say enter your name and enter your age. Okay, so enter your name and enter your age, and the show name and the show age are the two functions which is publicly available here. Okay, and because of it is publicly available here, it is unlocked. Okay, and it is accessible. Okay, and through that unlock part. So it's a publicly available, and anyone can access the these methods, and through methods they are going to access the data member of object. ओके, तो यहाँ पे डेटा मेंबर डायरेक्टली एक्सेस नहीं है, थ्रू मेथड से आप उसको एक्सेस कर सकते हो दोनों डेटा मेंबर को. ओके, सो वेन एवर यू नीड एनी काइंड ऑफ व्हाट the information which is belongs to the name and age. ओके, तो ये नेम और एज खाली एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. ओके, तो यहाँ पे कोई इनपुट मेथड रहेगी, सो दैट इनपुट मेथड इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर initializing the data member of name and age, and this is another method which is responsible for showing the information here. So my class is protected because of the protection of what my data member here, and the function which is accessible, it's just like a प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टीज को हम लोग क्या नहीं कर सकते, एक्सेस नहीं कर सकते. ओके, अगर कोई एक्सेसिबल फंक्शंस उसमें है तब तक उसको हम एक्सेस नहीं कर सकते. फॉर एग्जांपल, यू कैन टेक मनी फ्रॉम योर डैड पॉकेट्स. ओके, आपके डैड के पॉकेट से मनी नहीं ले सकते डायरेक्टली, क्योंकि वो पब्लिकली अवेलेबल नहीं है बाबा, वो प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी है डैड. So you always looking for such function who having where dad is giving access to his pocket. So you are looking for the function called as a mummy. Okay, तो मम्मी को आप रिक्वेस्ट करते हो बिकॉज यू आर द आउटसाइड ऑब्जेक्ट, सो यू आर रिक्वेस्टिंग मम्मी टू टेक सम मनी फ्रॉम dad. Okay, so if such kind of relationship you have, otherwise if your dad is allowing you to or permit you to directly interact with him uh, or her, then in that case it depends upon what kind of accessibility they are giving being as an object. Okay, तो उस क्लास में क्या डिफाइंड है उस हिसाब से ये एक्सेस होता आता है. ओके, तो अगर मुझे मैं डेटा मेंबर नहीं हूँ. ओके, और यहाँ घर में मैं किसी ओके किसी दूसरे के घर में जाके मैं किसी दूसरे का टीवी नहीं चालू कर सकता. ओके, बिकॉज आई एम नॉट अ मेंबर ऑफ व्हाट दैट हाउस. ओके, तो ये टीवी है, अगर मुझे उसको चालू चालू करना है तो ओके मैं outside object too, and these are the member of what that particular object. So I will send a request to this particular member, and then that member will put on the TV here. Okay, and I can see the TV here. Okay, so I'm an outside object, but I'm an outside object and I'm a friend of this object here. Okay, मैं आउटसाइड ऑब्जेक्ट हूँ लेकिन मैं फ्रेंड भी हूँ. ओके, एंड इन दैट केस इवन दो इफ आई एम नॉट अ मेंबर, देखो क्या रिलेशनशिप है, ये सब टर्म आपने ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग में देखा है. ओके, सो आई एम अ फ्रेंड ऑफ व्हाट दिस गाय इज, देन आई एम अलाउड टू एक्सेस द टीवी ऑफ हिम. ओके, क्योंकि मैं उसका फ्रेंड हूँ. So you already learn friend function, you already learn friend class. Okay, and you can access the data member through that. So ये real word से क्या किया है, रिलेशनशिप बना के actually create किया. Okay, so remember that that's why we are saying the function and the members are binding together and they form a class. ओके, तो यहाँ पे डेटा मेंबर ओके और फंक्शन जो है वो एक दूसरे के साथ बाइंड होते हैं. ओके, और n number of functions can access n number of what the members. Okay, here, and they are binding together, और ये जो बाइंडनेस है, ओके, उसको हम क्लास बोलते हैं. ओके, सो encapsulation is a example of what the class is an example of what encapsulation. So I'm saying that encapsulation is an example of class. So wrapping of what, इसलिए डेफिनेशन ऐसी लिखी जाती है, रैपिंग ऑफ डेटा. ओके, so wrapping of data and function under single unit. ओके, ये टेक्निकल डेफिनेशन भी मैं बताऊंगा, लेकिन आपको रट्टा मारने की जरूरत नहीं है. फ्यूचर में आप विजुअलाइज करो चीजें, ओके, एंड ऑटोमेटिकली आप क्या कर पाओगे, ये सब कंसेप्ट अच्छी तरह से समझो. सो रैपिंग ऑफ डेटा एंड फंक्शन और मेथड, जावा में फंक्शन को मेथड बोलते हैं. ओके, अंडर सिंगल यूनिट. Okay, wrapping of data and the methods under single unit, called as a encapsulation. As a class is an example of encapsulation. I'm going to share this entire document with you, where you can understand the ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग कंसेप्ट वेरी वेरी है. तो ये पूरा डॉक्यूमेंट मैं यहाँ पे शेयर करने वाला हूँ. तो इनकैप्सुलेशन, होप यू अंडरस्टूड दैट. ओके, सो फॉरेन बॉडी के पार्टिकल्स है अंदर के, डेटा को डिस्टर्ब नहीं करे, इसलिए यहाँ पे उसको कवर किया जाता है, और डेटा और फंक्शन दोनों को एक दूसरे के साथ जोड़ा जाता है. ओके, सो दिस इज अनदर pillar where you are talking about. Okay, the next part is inheritance. So what if I having already one class and I want to create another class, and I don't want to redefine that class, so I will extend my class to another class, and I can make a relationship between these two classes or n number of classes. So what is the type of inheritance? Please understand, the type of inheritance is something different than form of inheritance. बहुत सारी चीजें आपको नई फॉर्म में मिलेगी. ओके, मेरे क्लास अटेंड करने के बाद. सो देयर इज अ टू टाइप्स ऑफ इनहेरिटेंस, इज हैज अ रिलेशनशिप and is a relationship. Okay, and there is a form of inheritance we are calling as a single inheritance, multiple inheritance, okay, multi-level inheritance, and hybrid inheritance here. Okay, so and hierarchical inheritance is also there. So hierarchical is nothing but multiple inheritance. Okay, so here it is not supported in Java. Okay, so Java में नहीं support करता है multiple inheritance का. उसका reason क्या है, that we will see. Okay, so if you see, these are the two types of inheritance, has a relationship and is a relationship. और जब भी मुझे लगा कि यार ऑलरेडी एक क्लास मौजूद है, वो क्लास मेरे काम का नहीं, क्योंकि जो मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ दैट थिंग्स आर नॉट अवेलेबल देयर. ओके, so I'm not able to use that class. So if I want to reuse that class, then I have to extend that class here. For example, मैं यहाँ पे एक क्लास बना रहा हूँ, और यहाँ पे इस क्लास में there are two data member and the name of that class is what the person. Every रास्ते चलते वाला आदमी क्या है, person है. Okay, so I'm just showing uh, a white background here. So this is my person class here. If you see, and this person has a two data member, okay, and that is a name and age here. So if you look at that, this is a person class and which has a two data member name and age. So I'm just taking it from here and pasting it somewhere here. Sorry. So I'm just using this only name and age. यहाँ पे नेम है और यहाँ पे एज है. ओके. फिर मुझे लगा यार ये मेरे काम का नहीं है क्योंकि मैं जिस पर्सन की बात कर रहा हूँ उसमें तो नेम और एज इम्पोर्टेंट है ही. ओके. लेकिन इसके साथ मुझे उसको ओके इसके दो मेथड्स थे और इसके साथ मुझे उसका रोल नंबर चाहिए. ओके. तो मैं स्टूडेंट क्लास बनाना चाहता हूँ जिसमें नेम एज है स्टूडेंट का. ओके. लेकिन उसके साथ रोल नंबर भी चाहिए. ओके. या मैं किसी पर्सन को जाके मिलता हूँ तो मैं उसको पूछ सकता हूँ कि व्हाट इज योर नेम एंड व्हाट इज योर एज. सो ही इज एबल टू गिव मी अ नेम एंड एज. बट व्हेन आई एम आस्किंग व्हाट इज योर रोल नंबर तो वो बोलेगा चल भाग. अगर मैं किसी बेल वाले के पास गया और वो जा रहे भाई रोल नंबर क्या है आपका तो बोलेगा चल दिस प्रॉपर्टी इज नॉट बिलोंग्स टू मी बिकॉज आई एम नॉट using I'm not a student here. Okay, so in that case if I want to create the student kind of what the class here, so I look for the existing फंक्शनैलिटी और मैं इसमें इस सिंगल इनहेरिटेंस में मैं देखूंगा कि मेरा एग्जिस्टिंग क्लास है उसको मैं मॉडिफाई कर सकता हूँ कि नहीं. ओके. तो मैं इस क्लास को इनहेरिटेड करूंगा. सो आई एम गोइंग टू इनहेरिटेड माय एग्जिस्टिंग क्लास हियर. ओके. एज अ पर्सन क्लास को मैं यहाँ पे इनहेरिटेड करके यहाँ पे मैं स्टूडेंट क्लास को उसको एक्सटेंड करूंगा. सो इफ यू सी the student class who has only a data member but it is extended from the it is extended from my okay it is extended from my person class. So what is the benefit of that? So whatever is missing I will implement it in my extended class and whatever is not available or whatever is available that I will take from my base class here. तो मैं इसको extend करूंगा and that is known as a single inheritance. Okay. So इस single inheritance में what we are saying whatever the class you are defined that is inherited a properties as well as the methods from the base class here. Okay. तो यहाँ पे ये name और age available हो जाएंगे. Okay. So I'm showing a arrow in upside up direction here. Okay, so ये method is available here. So name and age methods are available here. Okay, so I'm showing in a dotted program. So roll number is only the data member the which belongs to the student class, but name and age are inherited from their base classes here. So if you see I'm showing in a dashed form here. Okay, so name and age are taken from here. Similarly I can adapt these two methods here. तो यहाँ पे इसके कुछ खुद के मेथड्स रहेंगे. ओके. और ये चार ही मेथड्स वो यहाँ से adopt करेगा. So I would like to show these in different form here. Okay. तो यहाँ पे मैं डॉटेड फॉर्म में वापस layer now. So I just want to show these in a different color here. So this is name and age, and this name age are there. Okay, so name and age. So you came to know these are the two different properties, okay, which is taken from their base class here. तो यहाँ पे हमेशा इनहेरिटेंस रिलेशनशिप क्रिएट हो जाती है, तो हम उसको टाइप बोल सकते हैं द स्टूडेंट इज अ पर्सन, okay, and that's why we are saying it is a relationship, okay. So I'm choosing it is a relationship, okay. So is a relationship is there and has a relationship is there, okay. So actually inheritance formed by a relationship, okay. So if you see, this is a relationship, and I'm saying it is people are calling this as a base class. Some people are calling it as a parent class here, okay. And base parent, or some people are calling it as a super class, okay. And you can choose a base parent and a super here, and this is something called this class is 1 meter, ओके. तो यहाँ पे हम उसको ओके, सो इसको हम डिराइव क्लास बोलते हैं, ओके. और इसको हम चाइल्ड क्लास बोलते हैं, ओके. और इसको हम सुपर की जगह हम सब क्लास बोलते हैं, ओके. You people are using any kind of WhatsApp. So if you want to show the relationship between parent and child, and base and derived class, or super and subclasses, kind of relationship you can choose. Okay, so if you see, this is my a person class. Okay, I'm going to extend this because I feel that the data member which is not available here. So I want to create the data member which is not available. So in that case I will instead of redefine, I will extend my class, okay, by using a keyword called as a extend. तो extend नाम का keyword हम use करके डेटा एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. तो यहाँ पे अगर मेरे फंक्शनैलिटी कुछ अलग है, और इस अलग फंक्शनैलिटी के लिए हम लोग अलग अलग टाइप के मेथड्स यूज कर रहे हैं, तो ये मेथड्स भी हम यहाँ पे एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. सो व्हेन यू वांट टू एक्सेस दिस मेथड, ओके, व्हिच इज एक्सेस बाय दिस पर्टिकुलर मेथड, सो उसको कोई भी डेटा मेंबर्स या कोई भी मेथड्स इफ यू वांट टू एक्सेस हियर, then you are using a keyword called as a super, okay. So that we are going to show see through the, okay. हम ये सब सीखने वाले हैं through coding here. So I'm just showing this is a super keyword I'm going to use here, okay. तो ये सब मैं सुपर कीवर्ड यूज करके यूज करने वाला हूँ, ओके. आप डॉट नेट यूज करते हो तो इसी को, या आप सी शार्प यूज करते हो या वीबी डॉट नेट यूज करते हो, तो कीवर्ड है बेस बोल के, ओके. या आप नोड जेएस में इनहेरिटेंस देखते हो, तो यहाँ पे भी आप बेस बोल के यूज कर सकते हो, ओके. So this I'm always talking with the in respect to the what do you call the Java, okay. तो मैंने नोड जेएस का ट्रेनिंग भी लिया है, ओके. डॉट नेट का भी ट्रेनिंग, डॉट नेट इज माय फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट, ओके. बट people are giving me a Java, so that's why I'm using this in respect to the Java here. So if you see single inheritance, so how you define that? Okay, so you're saying that single inheritance is that kind of form where the property it is extended from a single class, and you can retrieve the properties and function or the methods from the base class. ओके, तो ये डायग्राम देख के हम लोग उसको बता सकते हैं कि तो यहाँ पे मेरा रोल है पर्सन बोल के। ओके, और यही रोल मेरा बदल जाता है इनहेरिटेंस में। सो इनहेरिटेंस में आप बेस क्लास के ऊपर सब चीज डिफाइन करते हो। ओके, तो ये बेस क्लास है और ये पर्सन एन नंबर ऑफ रोल में आ जाता है। So it may be a student, it may be employee, uh, it may be the teacher. Okay, so हर एक को नाम और एज है। Okay, which is a common property. I can say it's a generic property. Okay, hello. There are 2 minutes left. I will explain those things in the next class also. So this is my person class, and this person class I want to extend as a student class. So there is a relationship between the person and the student here. So there is a easy relationship. So I can say student is a person. Okay, so there are n number of objects are there who are having a name and age. So it may be a student, and it may be a teacher, it may be an employee. Only the different properties are there. So student, employee, teachers are the three different I can say the object. Okay, and but they are inherited from the same base class here. So such kind of inheritance is called as a hierarchical inheritance, because hierarchical inheritance में क्या होता है, एक बेस क्लास रहता है और n number of what inherited class रहता है। Okay, and they all are accessing the common base class here. So this is called as a hierarchical inheritance here. So okay, so hierarchical inheritance are there, and you can create n number of what the classes which has a name and age are the generic properties जो सबके अंदर रहेगी। Okay, only the difference is another properties of employee which is defined in their respective class. So employee salary is there, employee number is there, student in case of student the roll number is there, percentage is there. In case of teacher the subject id and teacher id is there. The name age and the generic things are there, and everything is inherited from the base class called as a person. So this is a hierarchical inheritance. The next inheritance I will explain in the next class. For time being, we are stopping here. So this is a review of core Java. Okay, concept. So I'm giving you this as notes, और यहाँ पे हम stop हो जाते हैं।